of the semen. In this video, we will study the testicular carcinomas, the breast carcinomas, and the prostate. To study the testicular carcinoma, we need to know the basic histology of the seminiferous tubules. This is the lining of the seminiferous tubule, this is the lumen, and this is the outside stroma. Now, in this lining there is germinal epithelium. This is the germinal epithelium which is providing these spermatozoa. These are the Sertoli cells which are involved in the nourishment and development of the spermatozoa, and these are the Leydig cells which are going to produce the testosterone. So to study the testicular tumors, we need to divide it into germ cell tumors and non-germ cell tumors. Germ cell tumors will be arising from the germinal epithelium, whereas non-germ cell tumors will be arising from these Sertoli cells and the Leydig cells. So these two are the non-germ cell tumor, whereas the tumors which are arising from the germinal epithelium are the germ cell tumors. Let's come to the germ cell tumors. First of all, we should know that how to study it. We'll see that what is the age at which it is presenting, and what is the histology of these tumors, what is the tumor marker, okay, and how to differentiate it from the other one. So first of all, seminoma, it is a malignant tumor and it is the most common testicular tumor. So first of all, पहला MCQ तो यही हो गया कि which is the most common testicular tumor. It is a seminoma. ठीक है. Now its age of presentation is 15 to 35 years. Now you should remember it that it is not the tumor of infancy. ठीक है, इन्फेंट में ये नहीं होता. इसकी एज ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन यंग एज में है, मतलब 15 to 35 years. Next, what is the histology? See, its histology is similar to another tumor of the ovary. So it is the fried egg appearance, मतलब nuclei surrounded by the clear cytoplasm. Fried egg appearance. What was the other tumor in the ovary which had fried egg appearance? Yes, it was dysgerminoma. So seminoma is a counterpart of the dysgerminoma and it has a fried egg appearance. This is the histology. Now what were the tumor markers in the dysgerminoma as well? They were ALP and beta HCG. ठीक है. So if a tumor is arising in a young person and it has a fried egg appearance and ALP and beta HCG both are raised, then it is seminoma. Now one thing that should be kept in mind, that it is a painless tumor, ठीक है, and it is arising unilaterally. So it is a painless tumor which is arising unilaterally. It is the most common testicular tumor and its age of presentation is 15 to 35 years. It never occurs in the infants. It has a fried egg appearance and there is increased ALP along with beta HCG. It is very radiosensitive. ठीक है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कोरियोकार्सिनोमा भी रेडियोसेंसिटिव है एंड सेमिनोमा भी रेडियोसेंसिटिव है. It has excellent prognosis and it spreads very late. Next we come to the yolk sac tumor. Now the yolk sac tumor, its age of presentation is less than 3 years. ठीक है, its age of presentation is less than 3 years. Now in histology there are Schiller-Duval bodies. Now what were the Schiller-Duval bodies? Cuffing of the central vessel, ठीक है, by these tumor cells. Now which was the tumor in the female which had this Schiller-Duval bodies? Yes, it was a yolk sac tumor of the ovary. Now what will be raised? Tumor marker will be AFP. So if a young child 2 years of age presents with the mass in the testes and which on histology has glomeruli like appearance, on investigation the AFP is high, then what is the most likely diagnosis? It will be the yolk sac tumor. It is also known as the endodermal sinus tumors and it is a very aggressive malignancy. ठीक है, तो how to differentiate it from seminoma? Seminoma will occur in a young person 15 to 35 years of age, whereas yolk sac tumor will occur in the infant. Seminoma is unilateral painless enlargement of the testes. They can say that the testes were enlarged, transillumination test was performed and it was non-transilluminant. ठीक है, and on histology there was a central nucleus with a clear cytoplasm, so that is seminoma. ठीक है, just you should know the age presentation, the histology and the markers. So age presentation 3 years, histology Schiller-Duval bodies or glomeruli like appearance and increased AFP. Alpha fetoprotein is also increased in the liver malignancy. Now let's come to the choriocarcinoma. So the age of presentation in the choriocarcinoma is a young man, and as we know that this tumor arises from the cells which make the syncytial trophoblast and the cytotrophoblast. So beta HCG is increased. So young man is the age, beta HCG is raised. ठीक है, now as we studied in the previous lecture that beta HCG has two subunits, alpha and beta, and alpha subunit is similar to the luteinizing hormone, follicular stimulating hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone. So as a result, when this beta HCG will be raised, there will be increased effect of FSH, LH and TH, due to which the patient can have hyperthyroid feature due to TSH raised and gynecomastia due to FSH and LH raised. So we will write TSH raised along with FSH and LH. So due to this increased HCG, there will be increased hyperthyroid effect and there will be gynecomastia in a male. As we know, this choriocarcinoma spreads hematogenously to the lungs, so the patient can have a symptom of dyspnea, hemoptysis and respiratory difficulty. So we should also know that it also metastasizes to the brain and can cause hemorrhagic stroke. So age of presentation is a young man, tumor marker is increased HCG, presentation is dyspnea, stroke, hemoptysis, hyperthyroid feature, gynecomastia. ठीक है, and on histology the tissue will be like syncytial trophoblast or the cytotrophoblast. Alright, so in embryonal carcinoma there is a painful unilateral mass, ठीक है, and in gross picture there is hemorrhagic necrosis. ठीक है, तो एम्ब्रियोनल कार्सिनोमा का आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि ये एक मैलिग्नेंट ट्यूमर है. ठीक है, देयर इज painful unilateral mass. In seminoma there was painless unilateral mass, but in embryonal carcinoma there is painful unilateral mass. ठीक है, it has a good prognosis. Seminoma has a good prognosis, whereas embryonal carcinoma has a bad prognosis or worse prognosis. ठीक है, in seminoma there is increase in placental ALP, whereas in embryonal carcinoma there is increase in HCG and AFP. So you should know these differences. Now if we see embryonal carcinoma again, so it is a malignant tumor presenting with a unilateral painful mass which on gross picture, ठीक है, on gross morphology there is hemorrhagic necrosis, and the increase in AFP and HCG are the tumor markers. Now apart from these, there is another tumor which is teratoma. In adult male, this tumor is occurring, and this teratoma is malignant, whereas in female the teratoma was not malignant. ठीक है, तो जो मेल में हो रहा है टेराटोमा वो malignant है. ये फ़र्क है टेराटोमा का मेल और फीमेल का. So let's just summarize this seminoma again. It is occurring in the young age, 15 to 35 years, not in the infancy, and it is a painless unilateral mass, ठीक है, presenting condition. It is malignant. Its histological appearance is fried egg appearance, and there is increase in the placental ALP and HCG. Whereas yolk sac tumor, ठीक है, it is occurring in infancy. Its histological picture is Schiller-Duval bodies or glomeruli-like bodies, ठीक है, and there is increased in alpha fetoprotein, that is the hallmark of this yolk sac tumor, and its female counterpart is yolk sac tumor of the ovary, whereas the female counterpart of seminoma was dysgerminoma. Now choriocarcinoma is a malignant tumor, and it arises from the cells which make placenta like syncytio and cytotrophoblast. There is increase of beta HCG. Beta HCG alpha subunit is like FSH, LH and TSH. So the male will have gynecomastia due to FSH, LH, and hyperthyroidism due to TSH. Its metastasizes hematogenously to the lungs, and as a result the presenting features are hemoptysis, dyspnea, gynecomastia, hyperthyroidism and hemorrhagic stroke of the brain. So this is the comprehensive summary in seminoma. ठीक है, there is fried egg and clear nuclear appearance. In yolk sac, which is occurring in the children or infancy, there are Schiller-Duval bodies and there is increased alpha fetoprotein. ठीक है. In choriocarcinoma, there is syncytio and cytotrophoblast like structure, and beta HCG the marker, but don't forget TSH, LH and FSH, and there is hematogenous spread. This choriocarcinoma is radiosensitive, this seminoma is radiosensitive. ठीक है. Now teratoma, it has 3 germ cell layer and it is malignant in men only. Now embryonal cell carcinoma, it was the painful carcinoma and had hemorrhagic necrosis. Now you will have to answer this. A 25-year-old chap comes in for the evaluation of a painless right testicular mass. Okay, he also has a complaints of weight loss, वजन कम हो जाता है, डायाफोरेसिस, पसीने आते हैं, palpitations, दिल की धड़कन महसूस होती है, and nervousness, anxiety. Histological evaluation of his testicular mass is most likely to show. Now if it is clear cytoplasm with central nuclei, what is this? This is fried egg appearance, and it is seminoma. So seminoma में painless unilateral testicular mass होगा, बिल्कुल होगा, and it occurs between 15 to 35-year-old, so this also fits in that category. But how will you explain the weight loss? Okay, tumor में weight loss होता है, मान लिया, but how will you explain diaphoresis, palpitations and nervousness? Let's go to the next one. Cell resembling the primitive glomeruli. It is I think Schiller-Duval bodies, it will be yolk sac tumor. So yolk sac tumor में age of presentation is less than 3 years, so this does not fit here. Now these eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusions, these are the Ranke crystals, and these Ranke crystals are present in the Leydig cell carcinoma, which we are going to discuss. So this also does not fit here. What is this? Disordered cytotrophoblast. These are present in the choriocarcinoma, and in choriocarcinoma there is hyperthyroidism, which leads to weight loss, diaphoresis, palpitations and nervousness. So the correct answer is disordered cytotrophoblast. Now before going to the next topic, let us study the two other tumors, which are the Leydig cell tumor and the Sertoli cell tumor. Now the Leydig cell tumors are the androgen and estrogen producing tumors. The age of presentation is the young man, and the histology reveals the eosinophilic cytoplasm. ठीक है, this cytoplasm is whole pinkish in color, so it is eosinophilic, and these are known as the Ranke's crystals. ठीक है, Ranke's crystals. So Leydig cell tumor will have Ranke's crystal, which is the eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusions, Ranke's crystals, and its presentation is also gynecomastia and early puberty because of the production of androgen and estrogen. Just like choriocarcinoma, there is early puberty and gynecomastia. So Leydig cells are the androgen and estrogen producing tumor. They occur in the young man. Histology reveals eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusions, which are the Ranke's crystal, and the presentation is gynecomastia and early puberty, just like choriocarcinoma. Next are the Sertoli cell tumors. Sertoli cell tumors are the benign tumors, and they don't produce any hormone. That's it. They just present as a mass, which is mostly painless, and whenever you have to choose Sertoli cell tumor on the basis of diagnosis of exclusion, when there is just a question with a mass and it is not producing hormone and it is benign, then you have to go for Sertoli cell. It is highly unlikely to come in the exam. Next is the testicular lymphoma, and it presents in a person who is above 60 years old, and there is bilateral mass. Mostly the tumors are unilateral. The germ cell tumors are unilateral cellular mass, but if a question comes with a bilateral mass and age is above 60 years, then go for the testicular lymphoma. Now let us see the structure of the prostate. This is the urethra. This is the anterior lobe of the prostate. These are the lateral lobes. So you see the largest lobes are the lateral ones. There are two lateral lobes. There is one anterior lobe. This is the middle lobe or median lobe, and this is the posterior lobe. Now the question comes that in benign prostatic hyperplasia, which lobe enlarges? So this is the circle which enlarges. It contains the median lobe and the lateral lobe as well as anterior lobe, most commonly median lobe or middle lobe, whereas the posterior lobe is involved in the prostate cancer. So these are the two basic important MCQs. I wanted you to see this picture and learn it by heart, because when you will see the picture and know what causes the benign prostatic hyperplasia and posterior and the prostate cancer, which lobe is involved, then you will not forget it. Now one thing to notice is that this is benign prostatic hyperplasia. It is not hypertrophy. Sometimes the question comes and they mention that in benign in the enlargement of the prostate, which mechanism is involved, hyperplasia or hypertrophy. So you need to remember that it is hyperplasia, not the hypertrophy. Okay, so in the benign prostatic hyperplasia, it most commonly occurs in the men who are greater than 50 years old. ठीक है, 50 साल से बड़े लोगों में ये मेल में अपीयर होगा. Now what happens, there is smooth मतलब non nodular, elastic means rubbery, firm means it is somewhat hard, nodular enlargement of the periurethral lobes. Now smooth and nodular, it can be smooth, it can be nodular. ठीक है. Now periurethral lobes. Now what were the periurethral lobes? These lateral and these middle. So there is enlargement of the periurethral lobes, which compresses the urethra into the vertical slit, and there is increased prostatic specific antigen. So in benign prostatic hyperplasia there is increased PSA. Now how does the symptoms present? There is basically increased frequency of the urination, there is increased nocturia, and there is difficulty starting and stopping the urine stream along with dysuria. मतलब वो बंदा रात को कहेगा कि मैं 3-4 बार यूरिन करने के लिए जाता हूँ और उसकी यूरिन की जो स्ट्रीम है वो प्रॉपर नहीं बनती. It is difficult to void the urine, and he also feels pain while voiding the urine, and it can lead to multiple UTIs, back pressure into the bladder and into the kidneys, causing the hydronephrosis and increased prostatic specific antigen. Now its treatment is alpha-1 antagonist, which are the trazocin, tamsulosin and prazosin. ठीक है. Next is the to relax the smooth muscle, 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, finasteride is given. ठीक है. Next come to the prostatic carcinoma. Now prostatic carcinoma arises most commonly from the posterior lobe of the prostate. It also presents in the persons who are above 50 years. ठीक है. Above 50 years. So it is most frequently diagnosed by increased prostatic specific antigen and subsequent needle biopsy. Now there is a enzyme prostatic acid phosphatase. ठीक है, ये भी इसमें रेज्ड होता है. सो हमने डायग्नोज कैसे करना है? बोथ PSA एंड PAP, they are both increased prostatic acid phosphatase and prostate specific antigen, these both are raised. ठीक है. And there is sometimes osteoblastic metastasis. होता क्या है कि ये वीनस सिस्टम के थ्रू प्रोस्टेट से आपकी वर्टिब्री में जो वीनस वर्टिब्रल कॉलम का जो वीनस सिस्टम है, ये प्रोस्टेट से ये इसकी मेटास्टेसिस होती है वर्टिब्री में. ठीक है. एंड दिस कॉजेज द ऑस्टियोब्लास्टिक डिजीज ऑफ द बोन. Moreover, there is increased ALP and increased prostate specific antigen. होता क्या है, टोटल प्रोस्टेट स्पेसिफिक एंटीजन ज़्यादा होगा, जबकि फ्री जो है वो टोटल इंक्रीजेस, वेयर एज फ्री जो है वो डिक्रीजेस. लेट मी समराइज दिस. Prostatic carcinoma mostly occurs in a person who is above 50 years. It most commonly occurs in the posterior lobe. It is diagnosed by prostatic specific antigen as well as by increased prostatic acid phosphatase, and then core biopsy is done, needle biopsy is done, it spreads via venous blood to the vertebrae, and there is which is known as the osteoblastic metastasis. ठीक है, दिस इज द प्रोस्टेटिक कार्सिनोमा. मोस्टली जो क्वेश्चन आएगा वो यही आएगा कि वो स्प्रेड किस चैनल से हो रहा है एंड कौन सी लोब उसमें इनलार्ज हुई है. नाउ लेट्स कम टू द मैलिग्नेंट breast tumors. Now malignant breast tumors most commonly occur in the postmenopausal women, as we know it. Now it usually arises from the terminal duct lobular unit. Now this is the terminal duct and lobular unit, you see. Now the tumor is going to arise either from this lobular unit or this duct. There is overexpression of the estrogen or progesterone receptors and HER2/neu. So there are three receptors which are responsible for the aggressiveness of a breast tumor: estrogen receptor, progesterone receptor and HER2/neu. If these three are not present, it means that prognosis is bad, because what we do is we give drugs like letrozole, which is anti-estrogen and anti-progesterone, and this controls the growth of the tumor. But if this estrogen receptor, this progesterone receptor is not present in the tumor, then that drug will not act on it, and as a result it will have worst prognosis. So ER, PR and HER2/neu, if any of one of these is positive, it means good prognosis. If two are negative and one is positive, it means good prognosis. If two are I shall repeat it, if one is positive, two is negative, it means good prognosis. But if two are positive, it means very good prognosis. But if three are positive, it means best prognosis. And if the three receptors are negative, it means worst prognosis. ठीक है. Now we should know that the breast carcinoma is the second leading cause of death in women after the lung carcinoma. ठीक है. It most commonly spreads to the axillary lymph nodes, and its involvement, its metastasis is the most important prognostic factor. Sentinel lymph node biopsy क्या होती है कि जो first we inject a dye into the tumor region, and when the dye goes into the first lymph node, we extract it. This first lymph node is known as sentinel lymph node biopsy. Now most commonly area of breast tumor is upper outer quadrant of the breast. Now we should know that the main parts of the breast tissue, are this glandular tissue, which is this lobe and duct. There are 15 to 20 lobules which are containing the alveoli, ठीक है, sac like structures, and these are producing the milk. And their structure is like there is a layer of cells producing milk, and this layer is surrounded by the myoepitheliocyte. ठीक है, ये मिल्क प्रोड्यूस करेंगे एंड ये मायोएपिथेलियोसाइट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करके उस मिल्क को डक्ट की तरफ भेज देंगे. नाउ दिस इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट विच इज द ग्लैंडुलर टिश्यू. नेक्स्ट इज द स्ट्रोमल टिश्यू. दिस इज द स्ट्रोमल टिश्यू एंड दीज आर द कूपर्स लिगामेंट. सो ब्रेस्ट इज मेनली थ्री स्ट्रक्चर: glandular tissue, stromal tissue and Cooper's ligament. These Cooper's ligament are attached to the pec major and to the connective tissue of the breast. Now what causes the breast carcinoma? The increased risk of breast carcinoma is with increased number of the menstrual cycles, because the breast has the estrogen and progesterone receptors. With each menstrual cycle, estrogen and progesterone increase their effect on the breast, and as a result the alveoli of the breast divide, the cells of the alveoli, and when there is increased division, there is increased risk of carcinoma. So with each menstrual cycle there is increased risk of breast cancer. So as a result, if there is early age of menarche, there will be increased number of the menstrual cycle, which will increase the breast CA. If there is late onset of the menopause, there is risk of there is increased number of the menstrual cycle, and there is increased risk of breast CA. If there is increased amount of estrogen in the body, let it be by contraceptives, so that will also increase the risk of breast CA. Moreover, the family genetic mutations are BRCA1 and BRCA2. There is autosomal dominant transmission of BRCA1 and BRCA2 in the family, and it also causes the breast cancer. Now the decreased risk of the breast cancer are the early pregnancy and the longer time of the breastfeeding. Now let's come to the malignant breast tumors, which are non-invasive. These are the ductal carcinoma in situ, the comedocarcinoma, and the Paget's disease. Now, what is happening in the ductal carcinoma in situ? This is the duct, and this is the normal duct. Okay? These cells start dividing under the effect of a hormone or due to any mutation of a gene. These cells start dividing and they fill the duct with abnormal division, and as a result there is filling of this ductal lumen. But you see, this is not crossing this luminal boundary, therefore this is in situ because it is not crossing the boundary. So this is ductal carcinoma in situ, and it fills the ductal lumen, ठीक and there are engorged blood vessel. ठीक हो गया. और माइक्रोस्कोप पे या उस पे माइक्रो कैल्सिफिकेशन आएंगी मैमोग्राफी में, वो तो ऑब्वियसली हर ट्यूमर में ऑलमोस्ट आएंगी. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द डक्टल कार्सिनोमा इनसाइड टू द डक्टल सेल्स डिवाइड एंड फिल द ल्यूमिन. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इन द कोमेडोकार्सिनोमा? इन द कोमेडोकार्सिनोमा देयर इज सेंट्रल नेक्रोसिस, मतलब ये सेल्स डिवाइड होके भर देंगे ल्यूमिन को और यहाँ पे नेक्रोसिस हो जाएगी, तो इट विल बी कोमेडोकार्सिनोमा. नाउ व्हाट इज पेजेट्स डिजीज? In the Paget's disease, these cells, these ducts, these cells in the ducts will divide and they will move out towards the nipple. ठीक है? And as a result, picture will be like this. This is the Paget disease of the breast. What has happened? That these are the microcalcifications of the ductal carcinoma in situ, and these abnormal cells of the ducts have moved via ducts to the nipple of the breast, and they have caused the Paget disease. So ductal carcinoma in situ, comedocarcinoma, and Paget disease, these three are the non invasive malignant breast tumors. So these were the normal cells of the duct, and under the influence of the hormone they started dividing and then filled the duct, ductal carcinoma in situ. And when there is central necrosis, there is comedocarcinoma, and when they invade this capsule or the basement membrane, this is invasive ductal carcinoma. We'll see this in detail. Now what are the invasive tumors? This is the invasive ductal carcinoma. When the duct connective tissue or the basement membrane is invaded by the irregularly dividing cell, this is invasive ductal carcinoma. Now there is firm, fibrous, and rock hard mass, ठीक है, and grossly classic stellate infiltration. Now what is the classic stellate infiltration? There is a central duct and the other cells are like satellite around it. ठीक है? This is invasive ductal carcinoma. Now what is invasive lobular carcinoma? In invasive lobular carcinoma, you need to just remember the word Indian file like division of cells. Cells जो हैं ऐसे straight lines में arrange हुए होते हैं. Invasive lobular carcinoma. Basically invasive lobular carcinoma में this lobules is rapidly dividing. You just need to know the basics. These are not very important. These are only related to the gynae, but I am just having a overview for you. So there is decreased E-cadherin expression, and there is Indian file appearance of the cell. Now what do you mean by Indian file? Straight lines. ठीक है. Now what is the inflammatory breast cancer? In the inflammatory breast cancer there is lymphatic invasion. Now when the lymphatic invasion is there is pure orange breast skin resemblance to the orange peel. ठीक है. Pure orange is the condition, and it occurs when the breast lymphatics are invaded by the tumor, and it happens in the inflammatory breast cancer. बस ये आपको पता होना चाहिए, and that's it. Now medullary carcinoma. In medullary carcinoma there is increased lymphocytic infiltrate. So अब हम इसको रिवाइज करते हैं. So basically जो नॉन इन्वेसिव ट्यूमर्स थे breast के, they were ductal carcinoma in situ. There was increased division of the ductal cells, but they were not crossing the basement membrane. In comedocarcinoma there was central necrosis in the ductal. There was a central necrosis in this region. ठीक है. And in Paget's disease, these cells in the ducts which divided irregularly moved towards the nipple and caused this condition. Now you should just know that the Paget cells are the large cells in the epidermis with a clear hollow. Hollow means सफेद shadow. ठीक है. These are the Paget cells. And the invasive tumors are the invasive ductal carcinoma which crosses the basement membrane. ठीक है. The invasive lobular carcinoma which is Indian file appearance of the cells. ठीक है. Due to the loss of E-cadherin. In medullary carcinoma there is increased lymphocytic infiltrate. In the inflammatory breast cancer there is invasion of the lymphatics, and as a result pure orange appearance of the breast. Now DeGord syndrome. DeGord syndrome is basically the chromosomal deletion. ठीक है. 22q11 क्रोमोसोम की डिलीशन है, एंड देयर आर मिड लाइन डिफेक्ट. ठीक है. मैं समझाता हूँ मिड लाइन डिफेक्ट्स. व्हाट आर द मिड लाइन डिफेक्ट्स? ये एक बेबी का फेस है. दिस इज हिज बॉडी. ठीक है. सो मिड लाइन डिफेक्ट्स का मतलब हुआ देयर विल बी CNS effects, the parathyroid, the thyroid and the thymus will not be formed well. There will be cardiac defects. ठीक है. अब जब thymus सही से नहीं बनेगा there will be T cell deficiency. जब parathyroid सही से नहीं बनेगा there will be hypocalcemia. ठीक है. and there will be CVS and CNS effects. सिर्फ इतना पता होना चाहिए कि DeGord syndrome क्या होता है. इट इज़ अ क्रोमोसोमल डिलीशन ऑफ 22q11 क्रोमोसोम. ठीक है. मिड लाइन डिफेक्ट्स होते हैं इसके अंदर. कौन कौन से? CNS डिफेक्ट्स, मोस्ट कॉमनली हॉलोप्रोजेंसेफली. देन थायराइड, पैराथायराइड, थाइमस डिफेक्ट्स. थाइमस डिफेक्ट की वजह से T सेल डेफिशिएंसी होगी. पैराथायराइड डिफेक्ट की वजह से हाइपोकैल्सीमिया होगा. एंड देन CVS इफेक्ट्स.